Hey everyone, how's it going? So in today's recording I'll be showing you my default setup, aka my best weapons that I like to use, and what their uses are. So in today's recording we'll be breaking down the builds that people have been asking for on my weapons, and also things that I like to use and how I use them. So let's take a look at the weapon setup. So for the primary slot, I use a weapon that's there to extinguish a group of enemies. This is not a high damage type of weapon, although it is very strong. It's not weak. So the Warframe is very similar to the Torrid. However, the Torrid is much easier to go into the Incarnon mode because you don't need to hit headshots. It's super easy with the Torrid. I've chosen Boar Prime because I've been using it forever, and its regular form is really good because of its overall damage. The secondary and melee slot are both really good for dealing damage to a group of enemies, and let's go talk about the melee weapon, which is the one that I've been using for years. So this is the Prisma Skana in Incarnon form. I think I've been messing around. So there's status chance here, however it's supposed to be crit. Oh, actually, no, there's a reason why that's status chance. So basically, it's increased damage by 99 combo count on undamaged enemies. This is extremely good for taking on lots of combo within like seconds. This is great, actually. So combo enough for an Incarnate form instantly. Additional range with more status. And there's a reason why I picked status over crit chance. So I have a Riven here, which is electricity, critical chance, and critical damage. And this will be 300% critical chance, however, or close to it because I switched Rivens. But I've moved basically the critical chance for status, as you saw there. So how does this melee weapon work, and why is it so strong? Well, we are using the arcane melee influence. This is the strongest melee arcane in my opinion right now, even though there's more expensive ones, which I had both of these in rank 3 and some unranked ones, and I just sold them because they're useless. Basically, well, for me, they're useless for me. You can give me your... Actually, do comment how you use them down below. I'm curious. The way this works is on electrical status effect, there's a small chance it'll spread to everybody else. So that means it'll spread whatever status you have here. So we chosen viral. And let's go over the build. We're using a Tenno that when I use a Tenno gives me an 100% additional status chance. We're using this stance because of the fact that I can move around while throwing out, freely move around while using melee. We have your basic viral build with electricity on the Riven to trigger the arcane and spread the viral. We have Weeping Wounds to increase our status chance exponentially, depending on our combo, which is pretty much always times 12. We have critical damage and heavy attack windup speed, helping out the Tenno. We have critical chance, additional range, and primed pressure point. I'll show you how powerful this melee weapon is in a second. I'll also be showing my pretty much my strongest melee weapon, which is the dual Ichor. I do have a video on these on my channel. I do recommend you check it out. I explain how this weapon is a pocket nuke with no catch or any nerfs. It's a great weapon. I recommend you check that video out. There's a card up there for clicking on it. So the secondary melee weapon, nice. The secondary weapon is also is equally as destructive. So we're using the Dead Header. We're using suppressed because why not? We got a corrosive build there with fire rate multi-shot. We have additional crit chance and headshots, which is pretty much headshots always in the Incarnon. We have multi-shot, we have a Riven for damage, and a critical chance with a negative 30% to Grenier. We have crit chance and crit damage. For the primary, which is basically the modern Ignis, we have a very simple setup. We have multi-shot, critical damage. We have basically a corrosive build with critical chance, critical damage, and fire rate, with also galvanized acceleration, which extends the length of our beam. Really cool for both the Archoplasmor and this weapon and many others. We're using the Merciless mod, which is just on kill rather than headshot. As for the Volt, I highly don't recommend this build. It's a very personal type of build. Again, there's a card up there for a good Volt build, which is the the second Volt. This is the one that you're going to be taking a look at on that recording. It's basically indestructible Volt with lots of nuking. So the video is either in the description like the other one or up there. So let's take a look at why I use this very weird and particular build. We have, for the Aura mod, we have Ready Steel. A squad begins with a mission within 24 initial combo. This means that I have X2 combo multiplier all the time. Prime Sure-Footed, we have Adaptation, we have this mod, which gives additional electrical damage whenever I hold down my 1. What that does is basically, I'll have the ability of boosting corrosive or radiation, or just electrical damage to my melee weapons. So it does merge with other elements. So we have ability strength with ability duration. We have also the umbral setup. So the reason why I'm playing like this, which is a very odd way of playing Volt, is because I love this frame. Been playing him for since the beginning, since I started playing the game like 7 or 8 years ago or more. We have Grace and Guardian, so this is a sub-undying Volt, basically. So let's take a look at the abilities. We have this one, which is becoming more and more useless as the time goes on. They have been saying that they were gonna rework the ability within the next update, which should be the next month, I think. So we have damage boost or damage reduction. We have a great deal of shield and just speed, which is something I use 24/7. So the build is a bit weird because duration is high, strength as well, but efficiency and rage is low. So since all of my abilities are duration based, I don't have to worry about efficiency because all of them last over a minute, except for this one. This is 30 seconds. This is like 2 minutes, I think. Well, it's 1 minute and 40 seconds. So basically that's the setup there. To compensate for low efficiency, we have the Tau Forged Amber Shard, which is the 75% efficiency on energy orbs. We have health, and health. That is a unnecessary setup, but I do like being very close to 2000 health. Also, that does help out Arcane Grace by a lot. So this is not a Warframe you'll be taking to level cap or even like past 4 hours in a Fisher Steel Path mission. However, it's a great build that I love to use, and I use it for all missions, no matter how impossible or difficult, and I play solo exclusively, which means this build serves me well. As for the companion, I usually go with a Smida Kavad because of the chance of doubling my resources. Yes, there's better. Of course, there's better companions. However, I'm not really paying attention to them right now. Maybe I will down the line. So now that I've explained all of my my gear, I'll explain how I like to play in solo. So I use this Lunero School. With this school, I'm capable of stripping armor, even on bosses. Basically 90% of bosses are vulnerable to this 100%... what? Yeah, so this is the self-revive. This is the self-revive, last gasp. Basically, whenever I get down and never use up a life, I just bring myself into the operator and kill 3 enemies or 1 Eximus, and I'm self-revived. This removes 100% shields from all enemies and 90% of bosses. Yes, even the ones in the circuit. This it gives an additional damage boost to your Warframes. It drops a wisp. That's a school that I like using. It's not the best one depending on what you want to do. So let's move on to the weapons and how they work. So these are level 200 Steel Path enemies. This is what a secondary acts like with no ability boost. So there was 0 damage boosting. Let's boost our damage and see how that treats us. And there you go. Now we're gonna be testing out the melee, and of course we're gonna unpause the AI and... oh, sorry, Steel Path, of course. So let's go in there. And 20 enemies gone within a second. Let's pause the AI. Now we're going to be using the Warframe, as I said. So its regular form does a lot of damage. It's great. Let's move on to the Incarnate form. You can see it does shred enemies, and it's really good against bosses when you headshot them. So when you're not shooting a target, it's basically gonna shake your screen. So you see it's not the best weapon for dealing damage, but it's great when it comes to overall just wiping them out. So now let's test the Warframe survivability in this Steel Path mode. Let's see how long it takes him to kill me. Okay, the cat is done. Nice. The cat is down. Now that they can focus on me. It'd be cool if they would shoot at me. Nice. Alright. There we go. Now I'm down. I set them to sleep and strip their armor. My space isn't working for some... There we go. And I self-res. There we go. Right, so that's pretty much the whole thing. All my weapons, all of my gear. Oh yeah, I guess I should show you how the... Oh, there's a... Well, I'll show you how it works, but there's a video on this weapon on my channel already, so you can go check it out. And now, these little toxic clouds are left, killing any enemy that goes through them, meaning that it's like a repetition of a dead zone, I guess. But the reason why I don't like using it is because I'm more into this weapon, and I have been forever. So that's pretty much the whole breakdown. I guess this wasn't very exciting, but that's how it works. Maybe I should explain the melee weapon before I go. This mod is triggered by the electricity on this ribbon, meaning that it spreads electricity damage and viral. And that deals a lot of damage when I hook more than 2 or 3 enemies. That chance goes to the roof, especially with this Tenno mod and the heavy attack. So it's great against all enemies, all types, and I use it pretty much in all of my missions to kill enemies all around me. Right, Tenno, thank you all for watching this recording. That's pretty much it. If you have any extra questions, please do go in the comment section and drop them. If you have any thoughts, any opinions, do share them with me. I do love interacting with you. And if you want to see more of my content, make sure you are subscribed. Thank you, Tenno, and I wish you luck in all of your hunts.